What if wealth was never about the money? What if the path to true abundance had less to do with what's in your bank account and more to do with how you train your mind? For the Stoics, wealth was not a matter of possession but of perception. It wasn't about chasing riches. It was about controlling desire, mastering discipline, and aligning your values. And yet, ironically, these principles created some of the wealthiest and most powerful men in history. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, and Seneca, one of the richest men of his time. Their secret? They didn't serve money. Money served them. In this video, we uncover the 10 Stoic secrets to achieving wealth, not by chasing it blindly, but by attracting it through unshakable clarity and self-control. The first Stoic secret: desire nothing, control everything. Most people think the road to wealth begins with ambition. But the Stoics knew that ambition without discipline is just slavery in disguise. To them, the man who desires less is already richer than the man who owns more. Because the less you need, the freer you are. When you're not desperate to impress, not enslaved by luxury, not consumed by envy, your mind becomes a fortress. From that place, you make better decisions. You invest with clarity. You spend with intention. You work not to prove yourself, but to serve your principles. The second secret: separate value from price. The Stoics never confused cost with worth. A mansion may be expensive, but that doesn't make it valuable. A moment of peace? A clear conscience? A night of undisturbed sleep? Priceless. The Stoic understands that many pursue wealth without understanding what it's for. They become rich in bank accounts and bankrupt in spirit. The true Stoic builds wealth not to hoard, but to enable freedom, to buy time, not things. And in that, they find a kind of richness that inflation cannot touch. Third, wealth is found in restraint. While others flaunt, the Stoic holds back. While the crowd rushes toward every shiny object, the Stoic moves slowly with care. The reason? Because self-restraint is the foundation of all lasting wealth. A person who cannot resist pleasure is easy to manipulate. A person who can delay gratification is dangerous, in the best way. The Stoics weren't minimalists to look fashionable. They understood that having less often means owning more of yourself. Fourth secret: use money, don't worship it. The Stoics did not demonize wealth. They simply refused to kneel to it. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Use your money, but never let it use you. Money is a tool like fire. Useful if controlled. Destructive if not. To the Stoic, your relationship with money must be like your relationship with power, respected, but never worshipped. The Stoic earns, saves, invests, but always from a place of mastery, not obsession. In ancient Rome, where chaos was constant and wealth belonged to the few, a philosophy emerged that ignored gold and chased something greater: inner freedom. The Stoics didn't reject money. They simply understood its true place. And today, thousands of years later, their lessons echo louder than ever in a world obsessed with consumption, comparison, and excess. If you want to build real wealth, not just financial, but mental, emotional, and spiritual, the Stoic rules can reshape your entire journey. First, master your desires before acquiring possessions. Seneca said that a man is poor not because he has little, but because he craves more. We live in an age of constant temptation, ads, apps, influencers. But real freedom begins when you learn to want less. Ironically, the less you crave, the more you have. You save better, invest smarter, and make decisions with clarity. It's not about rejecting pleasure, but about not being enslaved by it. A mind that governs its desires lays the foundation for lasting wealth. Second, don't confuse luxury with success. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of the most powerful empire in the world, sometimes slept on the floor just to remind himself, comfort is an illusion. Today, we mistake flashy cars, designer clothes, and luxury vacations for success. But many of the rich are drowning in debt, anxiety, and a fear of losing what they've built. True victory, to the Stoic, is living in line with reason, with simplicity, with purpose. Luxury isn't evil, but the obsession with it destroys your peace. If you want long-term wealth, start with a clear mind, not a crowded garage. Third rule, always spend less than you earn. It sounds obvious, but millions ignore it. Epictetus, born into slavery, taught that freedom begins by mastering what's in your control. You can't control the market, the interest rate, or inflation. But your spending? That's on you. Live beneath your means. Invest. Build a future free from fear. Financial discipline is not about deprivation. It's a daily act of philosophical strength. Fourth, invest in your mind before the market. A Stoic never goes into battle without knowing himself. In finance, the real battle isn't against the economy. It's against your fear, greed, and impatience. Before stocks or real estate or crypto, ask yourself, do I know my impulses? Can I wait? Can I think long-term? Knowledge is the most profitable asset, and unlike the market, it never crashes. Fifth, accept what you cannot control. Act with excellence where you can. The economy will rise and fall. Crises will come and go. But your habits? Your decisions? Your mindset? That's your territory. Seneca wrote that fortune governs the external world, but the wise govern the internal one. You don't choose the storm, but you choose to be grounded. Wealth built on discipline and consistency outlasts every market trend. Sixth, don't compare, pursue self-sufficiency. Comparison is poison. It steals your peace and gives you nothing real. The Stoics measured progress by one standard. Am I better than I was yesterday? The race isn't against the world. It's against your past self. Wealth isn't about being richer than your neighbor. It's about having control over your time, your choices, your peace. Every moment spent watching others is a moment lost from your own path. Seventh, use money as a tool, never as your identity. Too many people equate their net worth with self-worth. But Epictetus reminds us, you are a rational being, everything else is an accessory. Money is a tool to buy time, to fund growth, to support meaning, not to replace your values or define your status. If money is who you are, you'll break when it disappears. If money is your servant, you'll rise no matter what happens. Eighth, build financial resilience. Life isn't stable, and neither is wealth. The Stoic prepares for loss, not because he's pessimistic, but because he's wise. Seneca advised practicing poverty from time to time, sleeping on the floor, eating the bare minimum, to train your mind to endure anything. Build emergency funds. Have a plan. Don't fear the fall, prepare for it. True wealth is the ability to weather storms without panic. Ninth, don't delay action, start now. Stoicism isn't theory. It's practice. Knowing what to do and not doing it is the same as ignorance. Opportunities won't wait. Time won't pause. Every small act of saving, learning, and patience compounds. Don't wait for the perfect moment. The Stoic uses this moment. They treat every day as if it were the last, and each one as a seed for something lasting. Now, Progress is made in motion. 10th and final rule, true wealth is freedom. Marcus Aurelius ruled the known world, but still wrote, "The free man is he who is master of himself." Wealth without autonomy is just golden chains. Freedom is having control over your time, your emotions, your life. That's what the Stoics chased. That's what they died for. And that's what you can build. If you choose principles over possessions, clarity over chaos, reason over reaction. These 10 rules are not financial hacks. They're ancient truths. You won't find them in business school or influencer reels, but they've outlasted empires. Apply just one, and you'll feel the difference. Apply them all, and you'll build a wealth no market can touch. The quiet kind. The resilient kind. The stoic kind. Now take a breath. Look around. Everything changes. Everything fades. But principles, they remain. They are the stones on which you build something eternal. And if you've made it this far, it's because something inside you isn't satisfied with surface-level answers. You want depth, strength, clarity. Join the journey. Subscribe to the channel. This is just the beginning. The Stoic path isn't loud, but it leads to a kind of wealth the world will never understand. If you found meaning in this video, remember to subscribe to the channel. That's your small action today to build something bigger tomorrow. Live wisely. Live freely. And keep walking the Stoic path.